If you're thinking about renting out your RV as an RV rental business and you want to save some time, stress, and money, consider these 10 mistakes that I made when I first started renting out my RV. Mistake number 1, financing RVs with high purchase prices. When I bought my first RV to rent out, I looked at a Class C. It was used and it had about 40,000 miles on it. And the purchase price for it was $25,000. Now, I financed it through my credit union, and they actually gave me a pretty decent rate. I think it was like 3% total. And I was able to list it on the Outdoorsy and RV share platforms. And it did very well. It's very popular. It rented out great. Actually ended up accruing 60,000 miles in total rental in the 2-year period. So it was getting a lot of activity, earning right around $30,000 per season. So, that with the low interest rate and the low principal payment, I was able to pay off completely within less than 2 seasons. So I purchased a second RV for about $100,000 and got the same rate and term from my credit union. And so it had similar costs in terms of repair costs and maintenance and all the other carrying costs that were similar to the other RV. The only difference was the purchase price was more. It still had the same popularity, and I listed it on the platforms and still earned about the same amount. But with the higher principal payment, it took longer to pay it off. And with that longer period of time, interest charges were accruing and thus eating into the profits. So what I learned from that situation was speed. Pay the thing off as quick as possible so that, number one, you can kind of outpace those interest charges that are accruing. But more importantly, you don't have much time with these RVs. If every season they're racking up around 20 to 30,000 miles. Usually what I see is about 150,000 miles is the lifespan of an RV rental. It could be more, it could be a little less, depending on your market, depending on the shape of the RV in terms of damage and maintenance and overall desirability. But that's what I've seen on average. So the quicker you can pay off the RV, the more profitable you can be in the long term. Mistake number 2 was not thoroughly learning the RV before I sent it out on a booking. When I purchased my RV, it was at the end of the rental season here where I live in the Northeast. And so I was kind of in a rush to get it out and get it listed and start earning money. And I didn't have enough time to take it out myself and really kind of learn the quirks of the RV and some of the things maybe that needed attention in terms of repairs and things like that. And one situation happened. I sent it out immediately with a renter, and the renter called me and said that all the outlets were not working. And since I didn't have any idea exactly what to, how to address the situation or troubleshoot it, I ended up having to call a mobile mechanic. And the mobile mechanic came out. He charged me $300 for the trip charge. And turns out it was just that the GFC button in the bathroom where the outlet was placed just needed to be reset. Now the outlet was kind of hidden underneath the cabinet, so there was no way that the renter was going to find it, and I didn't know, so I couldn't find it. So that was a $300 charge that I could have avoided had I known a little bit more about the RV. Mistake number 3, allowing unlimited mileage for cross-country trips. So initially when I started out and listed the RV, I had a strategy of just offering unlimited mileage. I felt like that would help the RV kind of set itself apart in the marketplace and be more competitive, which it was, and it worked as a strategy. However, what I ended up finding out was, renters would book the RV for a 7-day trip, and then their strategy would be to have multiple drivers just rotate, so the vehicle would be driving 24 hours to 30 hours straight, nonstop. And in the harsh conditions when you're going across the country through the deserts and the mountains, and just general going across the road, it can really accelerate the wear and tear on the vehicle. So to offset that, I just basically modified it and allowed unlimited mileage within a range. So mistake number 4 was not creating instructional videos sooner than I did. Initially I would send the RV out and I'd do the normal walkthrough, explaining everything, how all the features and the functions of the RV worked. But then I would receive calls literally after, a day or something like that, or even the same day once the renter arrived to their campsite, about things that I just went over with them. So to offset that, I just started making instructional videos. I posted QR codes around the RV, just so that they could have refreshers and be able to understand how things work exactly and really troubleshoot on their own. If they couldn't figure it out, then they could call me. So that reduced a lot of those calls. So mistake number 5 was not carrying spare parts on the RV. There are so many times when the RV is out on the road, the renters have it at a campsite, or maybe they're even boondocking somewhere. Things can happen. These RVs, they're moving around, so a lot of parts can kind of, come loose or maybe even fail. And so, the option is to either call a mobile mechanic and hope they have those parts in stock, or you're just going to either lose out on some of the services. So I remember one specific instance where a renter had taken the RV, they got to a campsite, they got set up, and then they called me and said that the water heater wasn't working. At least the water wasn't heating up. And so we tried to troubleshoot it and figure it out, and didn't really understand exactly what was going on, why it wasn't activating. So I called a mobile mechanic, and the mobile mechanic came out and realized that it was a small fuse that had burned out on the water heater. He didn't have one in stock, and had to wait a day to get one. And so the renter had the inconvenience of not being able to shower with a hot shower and use hot water. And the part only cost $15 for the little fuse, but I had to pay the mobile mechanic $250 to come out and diagnose it, and then the part, obviously. So in that case, if I would have known that ahead of time and had that part on board, I could have instructed the renter to go out and easily just replace it. It was a pretty quick fix. So having spare parts like that on board can really help reduce stress, inconvenience, and reduce, labor costs and things like that. Mistake number 6 was not winterizing in time. When I first purchased that RV, and this is something that's only going to apply if you have RVs or motorhomes in specific cold weather areas, which I live in the Northeast, so my RV was here, and I really wasn't familiar with how the cold would affect the pipes and the plumbing and everything in the RV. So there was a few nights that got down below freezing. And so I got up the next day to go do a quick walkthrough in the RV, and I noticed immediately that the pipes were frozen, and the faucet ended up breaking on the inside with the expansion of the water freezing. But I learned a valuable lesson. Always monitor the weather and make sure to get it winterized prior to any freezing temperatures. Mistake number 7 was not setting up my Google business profile to attain Google reviews. In the beginning stages, I just listed the RV. I didn't really realize how important the reviews were. I listed on the platform Outdoorsy and RV Share as well. Both capture reviews. But the challenge is that, at least on Outdoorsy, those reviews are tied to the specific vehicle. And so if, you sell that vehicle, you take it off the platform for whatever, those reviews go with that vehicle. So therefore, you sort of are starting all over again. In addition to that, they don't help you in Google search as far as SEO is concerned. So I ended up setting up my Google business profile, and then asked, renters after each and every booking, just to go and do a Google review, and sent them the link. And the great thing was that those reviews, they help in search, in SEO as far as in Google search, and they also help, social proof. So they build trust and help people make a decision on whether or not to go with your RV and use it. Mistake number 8 was not taking pre-trip photos before each reservation. And in the beginning stages, Outdoorsy, when I first listed it, wasn't as strict about that. I think they changed their policy, but I didn't know that at the time. And so I ended up having a situation where I had a claim, but the photos that I had were from, a couple of weeks ago, and they wanted the photos from that exact date when the RV went out. And so the claim got denied because of that. Luckily, the security deposit covered most of the damage that happened. So it wasn't a big deal, but going forward now, I take photos after each and every reservation, at least the pre-trip photos prior to it going out. And as of February 1st, 2026, all pre and post-trip photos must be taken using the Outdoorsy app on your phone. If not, then most likely the claims will be denied. Mistake number 9 was allowing instant book to be activated. Outdoorsy, and I think RV Share does it as well, something similar, provides a feature where the renter can just immediately pay for the RV without having to notify you and wait for you to approve it. Long story short, a lot of damage was caused. I think it could have been prevented if I would have had a chance to really interact with them and ask them questions that I think would have helped determine on what they were doing and how they're going to treat the RV. Mistake number 10 is providing free linens. One of the strategies that I felt like was important in the beginning was also, in addition to the unlimited mileage, providing free linens, just to kind of, again, set the RV apart in the marketplace and be more competitive. And that was fine. It worked great as a strategy. However, what ended up happening in some cases were that renters, for whatever reason, preferred their own linen. So I would prepare the RV and get the bed set up, have all the linens folded and, extra linen and towels and things like that. And they would just remove them and stuff them in a bag. So it was like all that effort for nothing. And what I found was, they're still going to book the RV regardless if you have that or not. It's a nice add-on for sure. But at least if I added it as an add-on and charged for it, I would be compensated for it. And when people pay for things, they usually value them a little bit more. So there you have it, the 10 mistakes that I made. Hopefully this information was helpful in some kind of way. And if it was, hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I've got other videos on the channel that could be helpful as well. If you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching and supporting the channel. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.